The video ain't that grainy.
No,
this
no,
investigation shouldn't take that long.
That was him on NBA Countdown with Malika Andrews last night. Chris, he shouldn't be shocked about a damn thing because that was, at the time, and we called it out at the time, the quickest turnaround on that kind of an issue that popped up. And Adam Silver has, to his credit, become very close with the players. It feels like as much of a partnership as it can ever be, more so now than it ever did under David Stern or really under any other commissioner in any other sport, to me. But with that comes the need to be able to put your foot down and to deliver the proper punishment when it is called for. For Ja Morant, it was called for the first time around, and Adam Silver took it easy on him, and this is what happened. I'm not blaming him completely, but I am blaming him for not really lowering the hammer and just buying into the words.
Yeah, Adam Silver's got to be accountable with this because the suspension, the discipline that he issued Ja Morant a few months ago didn't allow Ja Morant to sit in the gravity, the full weight of what had taken place, the incident itself. He violated the law. This guy is in a nightclub in Colorado with the gun. Forget about the NBA bylaws. He broke the law in the state of Colorado. Like, you're not supposed to, if you're an NBA player, you're traveling with the team, you're not supposed to have firearms. That's just a league rule. It's a private business. That's how they operate. But the fact that this guy was in a public space playing with a gun like a toddler with a toy on Christmas Day, that's a problem. Mm-hmm. And what makes it even worse is that he puts it on social media. You know, we already have a gun violence issue in this country, and he perpetuates that. Let me take it a step further. As a black man, understanding that our community over-indexes when it comes to deaths from gun violence, it's frustrating when Ja Morant repeats this behavior. Because, again, it promotes something that we already have an issue dealing with. So if I'm Adam Silver now, the fact that I had a conversation and he didn't heed the warnings, he ignored it completely, forgetting about the potential ramifications that would come along with it, I got to lay the hammer on Ja Morant, which is why I would be shocked if Ja Morant was not off the court for half the season in 2023-2024. I would be shocked if it's not a 40-plus game suspension.
See you in February at the very earliest.
Yeah.
You did a few more things, too. The number one thing he did wrong is exactly what you just detailed. The number two thing he did wrong was he basically threw the challenge out there for anyone to come at him and test his toughness the way he's been acting. Yeah. I think that's an understated part of this, is that you are, in essence, continuing to show publicly how tough you are with guns. You're asking somebody, the wrong guy, to come after you.
Well, here's the thing. If I'm Adam Silver, I'm not insensitive to that. No. But with respect, that's a Ja Morant problem. That's a him problem. No, I'm looking at it from a macro standpoint. Like, what are the issues that this creates for the league? Well, here's the biggest thing. And it's a dangerous precedent that Ja Morant sets and Adam Silver sets with the discipline that he initially levied on Ja, which is why he's got to come down hard. Another reason why Adam Silver has got to be tough on Ja Morant. If you're the commissioner of the NBA, you've already told a player once. You called him to your office. You told him this is a problem. If the player ignores you and does the same thing again, you've got to be heavy-handed.
This is the point. You just embarrassed him. You thoroughly embarrassed the commissioner, and you basically said to the rest of the players, I don't take him seriously. That's what you did. It is a big middle finger that you just put up on social media to the NBA, to the commissioner. If you don't come down and hammer him, you're going to pay for that even more so in the longer term. Canty and Carlin in for Greeny. Up next, the Western Conference Finals, and Jokic, the best player in the game?
Wednesday on Fitz and Harry, the Nuggets win Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals. Is Game 2 must win for the Lakers?
Plus, I'll tell you why the Celtics will win the East.
Bum, bum, bum. Fitz and Harry, Wednesday, noon Eastern on ESPN Radio.
On the ESPN app, we welcome in former Spurs NBA champion Bruce Bowen, who joins us right now to talk all about where Victor Wembanyama is headed and also about the NBA Western Conference Finals Game 1 that we saw last night. Bruce, we appreciate a few minutes. Let's start there. Have you ever seen a player like Nikola Jokic?
No, I haven't. But in the beauty aspect of what Jokic is able to accomplish on the floor is his ability to get others involved and how he does it. He's not the most fastest guy, but he definitely serves a purpose when he's out there on the floor. I believe that the only others that come to my mind when it comes to making others better as well as being a threat is Tim Duncan, Hakeem Olajuwon, and you think of the size-wise, 6'10" is 7 feet. You look at what Magic and Larry Bird could do as far as having that type of impact. So I enjoy seeing what Jokic does, but I just think that he is so fundamentally sound that that's what allows him to really have a edge on a lot of the more athletic guys that he plays against.
Yeah, Bruce, we saw Jokic hit that three at the end of the third right over Anthony Davis, and all AD could do was shake his head. But it felt like Darvin Ham discovered an adjustment, a little wrinkle in the fourth quarter, where he played Rui Hachimura on Joker and allowed AD to be free safety, so to speak, to be that rim protector in the middle of that defense. Do you think that that formula is something that's sustainable for the Lakers as we continue to move through this series?
It'll be sustainable until Denver makes an adjustment to that. See, and that's where these adjustments in this time of year are so predicated on what the opponent does. Sometimes an opponent needs a day or a game or two to necessarily figure out something better. I think when it comes to Anthony Davis's ability to man the middle in the defense, you allow him to roam, he's better served that direction. Now, if you put him one-on-one against a talented individual like Jokic, now you have to deal with the opportunities of Jokic finding others, because when they had him on the block, they spread them out so much, and you saw the slashing cuts of what people were doing. Now, you talk about the other addition as far as which allows Anthony Davis to do what he does. Rudy is able to get into him. He's a little more physical, and I just think of Rudy from the standpoint of when I first saw him, he was a sophomore in college, and I just couldn't believe his motor and how aggressive he was. It didn't matter who was on the floor. He just had this drive about him, and it seems to have transpired at the NBA level as well.
Bruce Bowen, of course, former NBA player, Spurs NBA champion. Follow him on Twitter at Bowen12. He's with Chris Carlin, Chris Canty on ESPN Radio, in for Greeny. How would you, as one of the real great defenders that we've seen, especially in the postseason, how would you approach trying to at least slow him down a little bit?
I think with him, you want to use your most athletic guy, but don't overcommit. See, Jokic is so good that when you overcommit, what I mean by that is if he's dribbling left and you get all the way over to the left-hand side and he spins, he's able to counter your deficiencies. So if you overcommit, he's going to make you pay for that. If you back up off of him, he's going to take advantage of that. But more importantly, you never see Jokic take ill-advised shots. Everything he does, he's on balance, he's patient, and he's efficient with what he does, especially when it comes to his footwork. So for those that are watching, the young players that are watching, look at his footwork. Sometimes he might go through a shot fake 2 times before he reverse pivots. Those are little things, and as far as him being a student of the game, he understands who he's dealing with and who likes certain things. So if there's a guy that likes to block shots, I can guarantee you he's going to show him pump fakes, and he's also going to show him up and unders. Because when you show the pump fake, now the guy is bouncy. Or he makes an adjustment. Now you go with an up and under where he comes clearly across his body and goes ahead and finishes his shot.
Bruce, shifting our attention to the NBA draft lottery, San Antonio was the winner of the Wembanyama sweepstakes.